Hey guys, I'm going to the Everest base camp and the Gokyo circuit trek in a couple of days, and this is my itinerary that I'm going to follow. So I want to share this with you in case you want to plan this trip sometime in the future and follow a similar plan. So the first day we take the flight from Kathmandu to Lukla early in the morning at 7:30. It's a 25-minute flight, and Lukla is called the world's most dangerous airport because of the altitude that it is in and the grade that the runway is at and how short the runway is. So that will be super interesting too. So I'll start with Lukla. And Lukla sits at around 2860 meters. And we cross a couple of hamlets here. We'll cross Fakding. We'll cross Tuk Tuk, where we'll get our trek card. This has already been registered. We just need to get the actual card by paying, I believe, 3000 NPR here. And then we should finally arrive at Monjo. Yeah. I think this distance is about 13 kilometers. And Monjo is also at 2860. So no real altitude climb here. You're basically getting acclimatized at about 3000 meters through the day. Yeah. So I'm going to call this day one, end of day one basically. End of day one. We find a place at the Monjo hamlet and call it a day. Yeah. We start day two early. So that is Monjo. We start day two early and we climb up to Namche Bazaar. Yeah. Namche Bazaar is the last big town where you can get all the supplies, all trekking supplies, medicines, all of that stuff, whatever you need, you can pick it up at Namche Bazaar. In case you forget that you've forgotten any gear to carry, you can get everything from trekking shoes to down jackets to sleeping bags and whatnot. So Namche Bazaar sits around 3440 meters, and Monjo to Namche Bazaar should be about 6 kilometers, but the last second half of it, about 3 to 4 kilometers, is a complete climb because you're climbing about 600 meters of altitude that day. So we should reach Namche Bazaar. I'm expecting that we'll reach there by about noon. Go find a place, have some nice lunch, and then take the day back and go for a day hike to Everest View Hotel. Yeah, you can basically see Everest from your first view of Everest. Will also be in this route from Monjo to Namche, but Everest View Hotel is a good acclimatization hike. Which sits about 3840 meters. So the whole goal of your acclimatization hikes is you're climbing to the altitude that you'll be at next day, so that your body is getting familiar and getting used to that, and then you basically climb high and sleep low. So you go back to Namche Bazaar and sleep there. So that will be end of day two. Okay, day three, we start from Namche Bazaar. and go to Tengboche. Tengboche, I believe, is 3840, and the plan is to sleep in Tengboche, so I'll mark it as day 3, end of day 3. After you drop your bags, Namche Bazaar to Tengboche is about 11 kilometers. Out of that, again, the last 3 kilometers, you basically climb all the altitude of 400-500 meters. So, you reach Tengboche, and then you have some lunch, hopefully, and then go visit the Tengboche monastery here. Yeah, I don't think this is an acclimatization hike, it's just a monastery visit. And then you come back. So that's day 3. Day 4, you go from Tengboche to Pangboche. Pangboche is about 3940, let's call it 3940 meters. Not much of a climb here, and the distance is also pretty good. Let's call it's about 4 to 5 kilometers. So find a place in Pangboche, because we plan to sleep there. Drop your big bag, take the day pack, and we do a day hike from there to Ahmedablam base camp. Okay, this is a pretty big hike. Yeah, so this is about 4.7 kilometers one way. So it'll take a good part of your second half. It's good that the distance between Tengboche and Pangboche is short. You're not climbing too much altitude, so you will reach Pangboche pretty early. Find a place, rest for some time, change your bags, and then you should leave as early as possible so that you can reach the base camp soon and then come back soon. And Ahmedablam base camp sits at 4570, 4570 meters. So basically you're climbing to 4570 meters and then coming back to Pangboche. That is going to be your day 4. So day 5, the plan is to start from Pangboche and go to Tengboche. Tengboche sits at 4410, I think. And Pangboche to Tengboche is roughly about 7 kilometers, right? So reach Tengboche, have lunch, find a place there, and there is a peak here on the left which is about 2.8 kilometers. I can't pronounce it that well, but I believe it's Nangtang Shak peak. Yeah. So do that acclimatization hike. Basically, Nangtang Shak peak sits around 5,080 meters, and then come back in the afternoon and sleep in Tengboche at 4,400. Yeah. So that's day 5. Day 6, the plan is to go from Tengboche to Lobuche. Lobuche sits around 49-10 meters. And Dingoche to Lobuche is, I think, 11 kilometers. Okay. So basically, go to 4900 and sleep there at day 6. I don't have an acclimatization hike planned here. It depends on what time we reach Lobuche. We can probably go a little further and come back. Basically cross 5000 and come back, and should feel better. But I've kept that open. We'll see. So that's day 6. Day 7 is the first big day. So from Lobuche, you basically go to Gorakshep. Yeah. Gorakshep sits at 5190, and here is your EBC at 5350, I think, meters, and here is Kalapathar, I think 5500 meters. So you can literally see Kalapathar from Gorakshep. Let me mark these trails first. So this is what people normally do. I mean, I think you should avoid sleeping above 5000 meters altitude. You don't sleep well. It's very disturbed. So the plan is to sleep at Lobuche. People do Kalapathar on one day, come back. Lobuche to Gorakshep is about 4.5 kilometers. Gorakshep to Kalapathar is 1.2 kilometer steep climb. Gorakshep to EBC is about 3.5. Yeah. So people do Kalapathar one day, come back. EBC the other day and come back. So this is what we are planning. So we want to probably do the sunrise hike in Kalapathar, which means that we'll have to leave at around 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark. Use headlamps. Basically leave from Lobuche, reach Gorakshep, and then climb Kalapathar. So we should be in Kalapathar by around 7 a.m. 6:37. Come back to Gorakshep 7:38. Go to EBC, which is what I've heard is way easier than Kalapathar. So do Everest base camp, come back to Gorakshep and come back to Lobuche. We should be back early afternoon and have some lunch either in Gorakshep or Lobuche based on how hungry we are feeling. We'll carry snacks. So we can call it a day there. We would have done about 18 kilometers that day. But the actual plan is to rest for some time and come to a place called Zongla here. Yeah. Zongla sits about 4800 meters. Lobuche to Zongla is about 6 kilometers. And there's a very good reason why we want to come to Zongla. Because Zongla is the hamlet from where the climb to Chola starts. So, but if we add this will be a big day. It will be about 23-24 kilometers that day. So we want to reach there early. So we'll see how that goes. So let's call that day 7, yeah? End of day 7, basically. So next day is going to be really challenging. Second challenging day here, yeah? So from here, we basically climb Chola, which is I think 5360 meters. Then come down to a small hamlet called Dragnac, and then aim to come to Gokyo. Gokyo sits about 48 to 4900, yeah. 40, let's call it 4850. So I mean, very similar alternative to Lobuche, let's call it that way, right? You climb to Chola and come down. The distance is about 12.5 from Zongla. Distance is not the problem. The problem is the Chola climb is slightly technical. We'll be crossing a glacier here, so we'll need our micro spikes. And end of Chola climb somewhere here is very technical, in the sense we'll have to use there are ropes tied. I mean, there are ropes there on the side tied in, and you're basically holding on to ropes and climbing. And also you'll have your fully loaded backpack when you're climbing for 5,000 meters for the first time here. Everywhere else we'll just have our day packs. So this is going to be challenging. 12.5 kilometers, it's going to take the whole day, and we finish in Gokyo at 4850, right? Gokyo has 4 to 5 lakes. Gokyo 4 is on this side. This is Dudkoshi or Dudpokri, something like that. That is basically lake number 3, lake number 2, lake number 1, right? So let me finish this as day 7. Day 8, we start from Gokyo, climb up our last peak, which is Gokyo-ri. Yeah, I believe that is 2 point something, 1.5, sorry. This is 1.5 and back. So you can basically, Gokyo-ri is supposed to be absolutely beautiful. You can see the view of all 3 lakes on this side, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So we plan, that will be the last climb there on day 8, morning of day 8. And then we plan to come down from Gokyo, stop at Dole. Dole, I believe, sits at 4410 meters. And the distance here is 14 kilometers from Gokyo to Dole. But you're coming down from 4850 to 4410. This is the first time, I mean, you're basically on your way back here. You're coming down about 400 and 500 meters in altitude. And this must be achievable, I believe. So that is day 8. Day 9, we start from Dole and come down to Namche Bazaar, basically. So I'm going to say this as day 9. That is about 12 kilometers. So you're coming down from 4410 to 3440. 1000 meters should be an easy 12. And that's day 9. On day 10, we come down from Namche Bazaar to Lukla. That is 3440 to 2860. About 20 kilometers. But should be doable. I mean, all you need to do is go back to Lukla and sleep. So it should be straightforward there. So that is day 10. And on day 10, you're doing about, I mean, whatever distance it is, 13 plus 6, 19. So finish the day there. So we have one reserve day. I mean, reserve day is obviously for contingencies here. So we can use that reserve day in various ways. If you want to stay acclimatized in Namche for one extra day, you can. But I think we have a good plan here to acclimatize through by stopping in Pangboche and everything. Or you can acclimatize in Dingboche for an extra day, which people do. But I think we would have already been at 4,400 the previous day. We would have gone to 5,000 that day, and we will still be under 5,000 in Lobuche. So I think we should be doing good there with altitude and acclimatization. So if we need it, we'll use it there. But I think we should keep that reserve day for somewhere between these two big days. I think this is the EBC day is big, and the Chola day is big, and the Gokyo day is big. So we should use that if we need when we are crossing Chola. Just before crossing Chola, we can probably use that reserve day just to go from Lobuche to Zongla, 6 kilometer, similar altitude. There's also a beautiful glacier lake here, Cholotso, I think. So this is absolutely gorgeous. So we can probably use that reserve day just to go that 6 kilometer, rest in Zongla, and get refreshed to climb Chola, because that is going to be super challenging. So we'll see how that goes. I'll come back and let you guys know how it goes. Thanks a lot, everyone.